Welcome to the David Spisak Show. Today, I'm going solo, and I could not be more delighted that you're joining me because I'm going to be talking about something, yet that's right, another thing that I'm incredibly passionate about. So I'm going to leave it right there and jump right into what I want to discuss. So for the entire history of retail automotive, the main driver, no pun intended, of our business and profitability was the new car department. In fact, the vast majority of our advertising strategies and budgets have been focused on new cars. The vast majority of our OEM interactions involve new car issues and opportunities. We have always, as an industry, sold more new cars than used, an average across all brands and geographic regions. And while a target of a 1-to-1 used to new ratio was established decades ago, we've always come up woefully short of that never-changing objective. And part of the reason is why we tend to be very new car focused. But while many other aspects of dealership operations are changing, such as the growing contribution to profitability by our fixed ops departments, the ever-increasing expectations of our clients, and the onslaught of technology solutions, one thing is crystal clear to me. If you want to create a dealership whose profitability is both maximized and future-proofed, you must recognize and master your used car department. Now, I'm going to say something that many people may consider uncomfortable and even controversial. Here it is. The new car department will never be the same again. Period. If anyone wants to counter, argue, or assert their point with me, by all means, I would welcome that conversation. And it could be one-on-one, it could be a private conversation, or even on my podcast. I will take that conversation on anytime, any place. Why? It's an extremely important subject that's worthy of discussion right now. But make no mistake, the used car department has long been the icing on the cake of a dealership. But, and I have the data to prove this, the used car department as of now is the cake. Now, why would this statement make some people uncomfortable? Because as we all know who have worked in this business, the used car department has a very long history of coming up well short of dealership expectations, creating disappointment, hardships, brain damage, and yes, lost net profit. It has a long history of being associated with tactics some car shoppers would characterize as unsavory. It also has a long history of used car managers who, excuse this well-known industry term, bury their dealers in an avalanche of poor judgment, bad decisions, and the wrong inventory, oftentimes also at the wrong price, which has generated billions of dollars of wholesale loss over the years and decades. But here's an important fact. The most sustainably profitable dealerships in this country are used car dealers with a new car franchise on their property, not new car dealers who also happen to sell some used cars. There's a very important and significant distinction between the two. Here's another important fact. Those stores who have mastered both the art and science of used cars, heavier on the science, they have some very common hallmarks. They are masters of procurement. Procurement, or acquiring used cars, is the single biggest issue, challenge, problem for most every new car dealer that you speak to. When you say, why don't you grow your used car department? I can't find cars. I don't want to go to the auction. I don't want to pay too much. I don't want to pay auction fees and transportation, but I just can't buy cars from customers. You don't understand. My brand, my location, my geography, my dealership, it's just not possible to do that on a consistent basis. But those top used car dealers, no different. They don't just acquire a few cars, they acquire hundreds of cars in those very same brands, geographies, and locations. They also understand the power and value of being data-centric and process-driven. Think CarMax. Data-centric, process-driven, not gut-centric and hope, driven. So big difference here. They understand the facts. They understand the data. They know exactly what the average price in their area for each location. How much do people pay on average for a used car? Great. Why don't we stock cars that are under that price, or a majority of at least, so that would allow us to have an average cost of sale that's $2,000 at least less than the average car selling for in their particular market. They also understand what drives VDPs. They understand what drives opportunities. They understand what expands their closing ratio. They understand what turns the fastest, and they understand the faster I sell the car, the more money I make. They also understand to maximize gross profit, the last thing you should be focused on is gross profit. You should instead focus on maximizing your sales turn rate, and not just simply trying to elevate your average gross profit. They also understand to maximize volume, you shouldn't be talking about selling more and focusing on selling more. You need to focus on one thing that's going to make that happen, and that's appraising more. They understand they should be appraising like CarMax, like Carvana. They got to appraise at least 75, 80% or more of the write-up/presentations they make to clients. They should be presenting at least an opportunity to acquire a car through a fast and fair appraisal process to everybody that walks into their showroom and everybody that walks into their service department, whether they're a customer pay client or a warranty client. They also don't try to rip or undervalue trades. That's old school. It's an old school mindset. It's a failed strategy. You know, those dealerships, if there's any stores out there, and I hate to say there is, where they're saying, hey, I'm going to look at your car, it's worth $25,000. I've got to deduct another $1,500 for a book change 2 weeks from now, another $1,000 for a book change 30 days after that, another $1,500 for recon. And next thing you know, they're trying to offer 19, 20, 21 grand on a car that the market value, the auctions, the Blue Book, and everybody else is saying worth $1,000, $2,000 more. You know, if we are deeply committed to blowing customers away, exceeding their expectations, and delivering a superior experience, I'm pretty sure trying to rip their car is incongruent with that objective. So they pay fair market value. And they can do that because they understand as long as they do that, price the car right, merchandise it great, get it on the front line, get the pictures up on day one at the latest, they can sell that car easily in under 30 days. Don't need to worry about a book change. And they're going to end up getting a lot more acquisitions that way. They know they must have an appraisal process that allows them to deliver a fast, fair, and accurate appraisal in minutes. And I'm talking minutes like a pit crew. 2 minutes and 3 minutes, not 15 or 20 minutes, that causes the sales process for a client or would-be client to slow down. They know they must have the most advanced and proven solutions available on the planet in order to make that happen. If you don't have the best tech, the best solutions that can deliver on what you want, how are you going to get there? They also spend a lot more on advertising their used car department vehicles than the average new car dealer. They utilize the best proven strategies for getting used cars to the front line as quickly as possible. They have proven processes, methodologies, strategies that consistently get a car in the shop and out of the shop as quickly as possible to maximize their ability to sell that car in 30 days or less. And they focus on selling every single used car they have in under 30 days by mastering the art and science of the used car department, by having great processes, by using proven strategies, and not by continuing to implement or allow failed strategies that have come up short for too many dealers for far too long. They lastly know one more thing. By achieving this level of commitment, discipline, process, and focus on creating a great used car department, they never, ever lay awake at night worrying about getting enough new cars from the manufacturer. They don't worry about whether their manufacturer is going to have great customer incentives to help them move inventory that's typically sitting on the car lots too long. They don't worry about how to fix affordability issues in their new car department that they can't control. They also don't worry about the economy, new car market conditions, or political landscapes, or how they're going to make up for another month of negative profit. You see, today the used car department is the cake. It's no longer the icing on the cake. So if you fully embrace and commit to creating a world-class used car department, you will forever be liberated from having to rely on any external circumstances to make sure that your new car department can achieve your objective of selling the right volume of cars at the right gross profit margin to allow you to achieve your net profit targets. Please take it from me, better yet, take it from the best used car dealers around the United States. Jump on board. Get yourself a piece of this used car cake so that you could start enjoying the sustainable, future-proofed dealership that every single person I know in this industry would love to have. Thanks for joining. Look forward to seeing you next time. Please take the time to subscribe, download, or share this episode with anybody who you think might be benefiting from it. Please also take the time to go to davidspisak.com and you'll get show notes on this episode as well as access to over 150 other episodes, most of which include some spectacular people I've had the pleasure of interviewing. Innovators, great dealers, and thought leaders within this industry. I look forward to seeing you next time on the David Spisak Show.